Well, so this is Lagos. We're heading out. Over there's the grottos. Grottos are a big tourist attraction. They take boats out and everybody snorkels around there in the summertime. They were doing it last weekend when it was warm. It's a little overcast today, not many boats. The caves. And there's my beautiful wife practicing good boater safety with her PFD on.
Hi, so we've made it to Rota, Spain from Lagos, Portugal after a pretty rough overnight passage. We headed down yesterday afternoon from Lagos on a fairly mild wind that was building through the afternoon and evening, and we had a little bit of difficulty in the middle of the night. So as you can see, we've cleaned up again around the place, but we had quite a bit of disarray with all of our wet gear, etc. So we're just recovering from our overnight adventure. We had a squall hit us at about 2 o'clock in the morning while we were out in the Sea of Cadiz coming down, and we had quite a bit of trouble with our furler. So Kevin, why don't you tell us what happened?
Oh, well, our in-mast furling system has been nothing but problems since the beginning. I really think that the motor inside is fried. It kind of functions, but it really doesn't have enough torque to pull the sail in, and especially if the sail, it turns out now, especially if the sail is wet at all, or if it's loaded even a slight amount. I mean, you can furl and unfurl it in 5 knots of wind or less, but the second it goes over that, the whole thing just locks up and won't work. And so, having increasingly building winds, and we're sitting there desperately trying to get the thing in, it just couldn't be done. And we eventually found ourselves completely overpowered in 30 knots of wind with all the sails out. And I have to say, the boat performed beautifully right up until that point.
Yeah, it was
right
sailing
up to that point. We were getting 8.5 knots out of the boat and loving life. It was great, but we had a moonless night. We could see the squalls coming in on radar, believe it or not, and we were trying to reduce sail as much as possible, and we just couldn't do it.
Yeah, we were fortunate the furler worked enough to get the sail in about halfway, but that took all of our effort to make that happen.
For over 2 hours.
For 2 hours to get that there. And so the head sail was left about halfway out. And so it took a bit of a flogging as well. And at one point we turned around so that we could be sailing back into the wind. We did that for about an hour trying to get the mast furler in. So our course was like a great big square coming down. So no problems on getting here on time, but was a little bit disconcerting in the middle of the night.
At the end of it all, it worked out for us because we could not come into this harbor at low tide. I mean, it says on the charts, on the sonar charts, that we've got 3 meters at the deepest part, and we draw 2.5, and you just can't trust that. You can't, the sands and the bottoms shift around here, and so we wanted to wait at least until a couple of hours after low water,
which is when we got here.
Which is about exactly when we got here. So we just kind of came right in, and once we got into right outside the marina where it was very protected, we were able to get the sails in, no problem, of course.
Well, no, you had to go hand roll it in.
Well, but hand rolling it in with breaking waves coming over the boat was totally not an option. I mean,
exactly.
We were not going to kill ourselves over trying to save an older sail that we're going to replace anyway. But
So that's next on our adventures, is figuring out what's wrong with our furler and what do we have to do this time. We've already replaced the swivel. We've gotten a new main halyard. And so now it's on to, I think, the engine. We've put the fluids in it. It's a never-ending story.
Yeah, I think she's talking about the motor drive for it, and I think that the answer eventually is it's going to have to go back to hood and be rebuilt, which is not so much of a problem. It's just going to be time-consuming. The unit is we have instructions from hood on how to get it out, and it doesn't look like anything that's that difficult. I'm sure all the screws that hold it in are seized. I mean, that's going to be the thing. It's stainless steel screws into an aluminum mast, and they're just not going to want to come out. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Walking up to the marina office to just kind of check and see how things are going. There's Talisman out there with her nose sticking out. We're carrying our dinghy on the davits, so we're pushed out a little bit, but it's okay. We're tied. I do want to add a second line up there at the bow, but in this marina it's been very protected so far. We just haven't gotten to that just yet. Dos Cervezas Grande.
Kevin's got it down.
Oh, we need to know.
Kevin's got some great Spanish now.
Dos Cervezas
Grande.
Grande.
Presse.
Presse.
And then what do you say?
Gracias.
Here's your wife again?
My wife again. Enjoying herself.
I'm trying to
It's just
enjoy
absolutely
myself.
gorgeous here. I mean, this is just...
Oh, this is wonderful.
So here's a couple of observations on Spain. We're here still in Rota, just outside Cadiz. This is our typical way lunch is served. It's the crushed olives with bread and of course the nice beer that they serve here. It's a very light pilsner. It's typical of Spain and Portugal. They charge extra for butter. They don't bring butter naturally. You have to ask for it. It's a charming place. Unlike in Portugal, Wi-Fi is a real problem here. The max card we can buy on a prepaid plan from Vodafone is 3.5 gigs, whereas in Portugal they were just offered up a 30 gig card for like 10 euros. And I think Portugal really has their act together. They understand that you need internet, that the internet is a real attraction, that having open Wi-Fi at a restaurant is everything. And here we haven't found a single restaurant that has Wi-Fi, not one. And I suspect it's just really expensive, that the Spanish government has done something to make it almost unattainable, or definitely not something that you can give away for free. Whereas in Portugal, Portugal's fantastic that way. I mean, we just had coverage everywhere we went. And so, given that the people in Portugal speak English, they're fluent in English, almost all of them, and that they have free Wi-Fi, and that they're just generally nice people, and that the Spaniards are nice as well. But it tips the scale really toward Portugal as a place that you want to hang out at.
Spend your time. Plus, you don't have dragonflies here in Portugal.
No, it's a ton of fun, but still, it's hard to look past the beauty of it all. Juan, do you want to be on video? This is Juan's bar.
What? Yes.
fire like concha, and the food was excellent. When you had the prawns, and I had the fish. Not so sure what kind of fish it was. What's that?
Lubina.
Lurina. Very nice.
Delicious.
It was very good. It was a fillet, and it was grilled. And we very much liked it. Good food.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
It was awesome.
It was good.